Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection in Space Red Ecliptor figure from Hasbro. I love Power Rangers in Space. I love Mega Ranger. I love red variants of characters and figures. So this hits a lot of good notes for me. Not only that, but there's a lot of good stuff going on that is separate from the original Ecliptor release. So let's get right into it. Let's do this. Starting things off with aesthetics and a lot of really great stuff here. Obviously, as I had said before, I am a total fan of red versions of characters slash just figure variants. So this was just a shoe-in for me for being a great figure. But beyond that, there is some actual new sculpt on this Ecliptor as opposed to the original release, which reflects obviously the actual character designs. I almost decided to do a plastic combat on this, but I figured I didn't kind of want to do like entire video. If you'd rather see that, I guess sound off in the comments and I'll do a full-on plastic combat. But for now, we're gonna kind of just side by side them here. And so first different thing actually is the head sculpt, and we get kind of the circuitry here. So it's not just painted silver. There's a lot of sculpt there, which is really well done, and we get that on the side of the face as well. And as we look at the original Ecliptor, obviously those are not there because he was not corrupted yet. So that's pretty cool. Then the other major changes beyond obviously the color and while I'm on it, absolutely love the shade of red that they went with the plastic here. Just looks really great, totally pops on a shelf, especially Power Rangers with a lot of different red characters. And come down to the left arm, which is completely different. So we have this big kind of protrusion here at the top of the delt that has changed into this piece with more of the circuitry and the spike right here. And then we see the actual arm itself kind of has almost a cleaner look, not quite as jagged, and all new sculpt all around there. Just a few splashes of that silver paint, as you can see. And on the original, obviously we had more of the kind of cuboid sort of look. You got this protrusion here, you got the gauntlet, so a lot of different stuff there. And obviously the symbol on the chest, that's just painted on though. There's no new sculpt there. No new sculpt here. They just kind of did a little wash of silver as opposed to the more intricate paint on the original. And then everything else is pretty much the same, I believe. It looks a little different, this sculpt isn't quite as deep, and I think that's just because of the metallic plastic. So also nice touch right here on the right hand with the gold knuckles. Really like that. So that is aesthetics. For accessories, we actually get fewer than we got with the 2-pack version of Ecliptor, and that's, I guess, slightly weird, only because it's a single pack and mostly repaint, but I guess all that money probably went into the new bits of sculpt. So starting off with hands, we get a left fist, we get a right sword holding hand with a vertical hinge, then we have our effects piece, which is our left hand with the lightning. The lightning was green, I believe, on the original release, and here it's just this really nice, super translucent, crystalline blue. Really just love how clear that is. Translucent plastics have come a long way. And then finally we get a right fist as well, which also has the knuckles painted gold. And then finally we get the new sword, a lot more organic looking. You can see it's got the 3 circles there, the red, yellow, and blue. Some nice use of the silver paint. I believe there should probably be a little more paint application here. Probably would have made it pop a little bit more. But then you got the silver ball at the end, but still fantastic sculpt work. And it just looks fantastic. And if you want to see that next to the original sword, there you go. If I can get that to focus. There we go. So those are the 2 swords, and that is it for accessories. Naturally, articulation balance are just as good as they were on the 2-pack Ecliptor release, so let's break that down head to toe as we normally do. So our head is on our ball joint. I think it's even a actual barbell joint. So we're looking up about that far. We're looking down that far. We have plenty of tilt, which is excellent. Again, there's lots of room under the head. We come down the shoulders, and there's no butterfly joint, I believe. I definitely couldn't tell. I think I mentioned that in the 2-pack review as well. And so that's a little strange, but I mean, obviously not a lot of room for it, especially with this overlay. Our arms come out to our T. We are swivel hinged, pardon me, there at the delt. We have bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows, which fold in half about that far. Then we have swivel and hinge on the wrists, all horizontal except for the weapon holding hand, which is vertical. Then we come to the diaphragm, and that is our ball joint. So we're getting all the way around. We have our ab crunch at the waist. That is bringing us this far forward, all the way back. And we're also getting a rotation from that diaphragm joint. Coming down to the hips, we're coming out to almost full splits, absolutely fantastic range. We have our thigh swivel hidden very, very nicely under this piece of sculpt. Then we have double jointed knees, folding us to about there. Coming down, and we do not have a boot cut. However, this is a larger figure, and thankfully they've been doing this like ankle swivel, which is really cool. And definitely works for the bigger characters with no cut there. And then we have some point, have some insanely generous forward, and then some really, really good rocker. So that's Articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other in-space Lightning Collection figures. With some other Lightning Collection. With some other Hasbro. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with an Articulated Icons Oni, and yours truly in human form as an Articulated Icons Ninja. So my final thoughts on the Power Rangers Lightning Collection in Space Red Ecliptor figure is that it's fantastic. It's every bit as good as the 2-pack release, the normal version of Ecliptor, but even better for me because it's a red variant. I also happen to like the little organic elements that are part of this design as well. So really just kind of, for me, this is the better version, probably the shelf version for me. However, for you, if you are a fan of In Space or Mega Ranger or just red variants of figures, you just think this looks cool, absolutely pick this up. You know, it is originally thought to be a Target exclusive, but it ends up, it's just available everywhere. So I will be putting links in the description below to some of my favorite online retailers to where you can pick it up if you are interested in doing so. So all of that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and or sharing. And if you want to take it to the next level and help me even more, there'll be ways to do that listed in the description as well. So please, please, please check those out. And yeah, with all that being said, ultra thanks to you one last time for watching. I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.